Okay, everybody, welcome back. Email us, as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. We're here at the Bitcoin.com studio. So we do have some confirmed news about the shooter in Minneapolis that is worth mentioning. Evidence is emerging of the suspected shooter in Minneapolis appears to be a psychotic and manic 22-year-old man, possibly trans, who left an 11-minute manifesto video on YouTube hours before the shooting happened. The video has been taken down. The suspect wrote notes on the weapons he used, including "Kill Trump Now." Let's put these up on screen, by the way. McVeigh, "Where is your God?" Burn Israel. 6 million was not enough. He had a human-shaped target with Jesus' face attached to it. This was an explicitly anti-Christian hate crime. I hate that word, hate crime. But let's put up some of these images. We have them in the chat here. And again, this guy's completely manic. He should have been in a mental institution. And let me just take a pause. We need to bring back mental hospitals, and a lot more people need to be in mental hospitals. It would solve a lot of our homeless problem. And this guy obviously should not have been in the free society. He is deranged. He was manic. He should have been in an insane asylum. When we opened up the insane asylums, it was a bad decision for the country. We need to bring back insane asylums. He writes here, McVeigh, "Kill Trump now." He says 6 million was not enough. I'm not going to say his name on air. We don't do that around here, as to try to not memorialize the dark and the demonic activity. Hatred destroys the soul, and he targeted Christians for a reason. He targeted young Catholic kids for a reason. Joining us now is Alex Marlowe, author of Breaking the Law, host of the Alex Marlowe Show, editor-in-chief of Breitbart News. Alex, I know we have a lot other topics to cover, but your reaction here to the growing evidence of this manic, insane person in Minneapolis.
Charlie, you're off to a great start and a very tough topic. I think that reopening mental institutions is essential. I live in Los Angeles. It would greatly improve my city if there are mental institutions that were available to people.
Yes.
I think that clearly this is a hate crime. And in Breaking the Law, which you've been incredible about promoting, I do note how infrequent it is that people who persecute Christians are charged with hate crimes. It almost never happens. It's a rounding error. It is essentially never, I'm not saying never literally, but it's a rounding error that it ever happens. Hate crimes tend to go against every other political group pretty much. Sexual orientation, religion, disability, ethnicities, but never Christians, even though Christians are frequently. And I think about 100 examples in the book of when they are, and yet it never comes up. So that's a very important thing. One other thing that we're seeing some images that will, of the apparently male with very feminine ponytails, another with a LGBTQ plus IA 3-spirit, 4-spirit flag. If those do get confirmed to be associated with this person, then that will add, I think, to the commentary and the analysis around it. But the craziness is the main factor that's true, and the deep hatred that is permeating through certain parts of our society. But I want to say one other thing that's important, as I don't like naming these people as well. I don't on my shows. And you won't on the front page of Breitbart. It just says, in terms of basic news information, you can find it if you dig, but we don't make it easy for people. And that's very important, that whenever this gets enough media attention, these things do become more frequent. And that is a sad fact of life.
That's exactly right. And look, this guy's all over the place, right? Just a lover of transgressive things. And this guy had a shooting target of the face of Jesus.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at right now.
And just the darkness. And of course, the Democrats, their immediate reaction is to blame Trump, is to blame Republicans.
Yeah.
And allegedly, this guy tried to change his name. Again, we're going to look more into that, what exactly the details are surrounding it. I have a sneaking suspicion, Alex, the media is not going to cover this one for much longer. I don't know, maybe it's just a gut reaction. Doesn't really fit their narrative. And mind you, our perspective on the show, we did not talk about anything politically. We just said this is a terrible human thing. We actually had a whole first hour on the problem of evil, wrestling at it from a spiritual and theological perspective. I want to play Amy Klobuchar. The first thing she does is she wrongly says it was an automatic rifle, which it was not, and she blames Republicans. She can't help herself. Play cut 394.
It, of course, makes me think about guns and all the work we've done to ban these automatic rifles and to do something when it comes to the background checks and everything, and we keep getting thwarted. We were able to pass a limited measure on a bipartisan basis, but not enough to stop something like this. And it just makes you think about that as well without knowing the details about how he got the gun, if the gun was legal, what kind of gun it was. But it was clearly one of these automatic rifles to be able to shoot that many kids so fast.
Earlier this year, of course, I think about the attacker who shot 2 Minnesota state lawmakers in their homes near Minneapolis.
Alex, that is a disgusting statement by a United States senator. Again, we talked about God the entire first hour. We said, let's just take a step back. Let's talk about the deeper things. I understand. She immediately goes to score political points. She immediately goes to attack Republicans and lies about it. Something tells me she's not going to talk much about this shooter because it doesn't really fit their desired narrative.
Yeah, Charlie, I can usually dissociate 100% from what's going on in the news so that I can characterize it appropriately at Breitbart. I can compartmentalize the emotional stuff. But as a Catholic and with young children, it's very hard to watch something like this take place where innocent children are getting gunned down by a maniac who clearly is, if there is a coherent ideology, it's certainly against everything that I stand for and you stand for, Charlie. And to watch this take place, targeted hate crime against Christian children who are innocent, shooting through windows in the middle of a mass, specifically during mass, where you know they're congregating in a place for peace and unity. And for her to go and talk about firearms, that is, you're the right way, it's disgusting. That's truly disgusting, and it's beneath any American, period, much less an elected politician who thinks she should be president.
Just as a side note, Alex, going back to the insane asylums, the reason I say that is the more I read about this guy, he's completely incoherent. He's full of contradictions. I mean, and it seems as if that is a pattern. Honestly, it is a pattern that we see amongst these types. It's just you can't really make much of it. We saw this with the Nashville shooter. We saw this with lots of shooters. Why is it that we got rid of mental insane asylums? We did a deinstitutionalization. It began in the 1960s, and we shut down large insane asylums. What is preventing us, at least states, from bringing back major insane asylums and putting like these guys in there? What is stopping us? Why did we get rid of it? Because guys like this cannot be out in free society. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it was a complicated thing. I boned up on this a while ago, and I think that it was a combo of, there was a few instances where there were abuses that took place at the asylums, and I think that got a lot of negative attention. There also became this huge industry of mental health that I think people advertise as, we can actually replace this. They don't need institutionalization. And we've seen how big the mental health industry is now. It's got to be one of the biggest the industries in the country, period. I mean, just everyone seems to be a part of it, and there's this rush to get kids into it as soon as humanly possible. And then I think that just from civil rights perspective, I think it's tough to detain people who are not necessarily criminal against their will, even if it's good for them and it's good for society. And then I do think there have been a lot of advances in the medicine so that some people have been able to function with things that used to probably necessitate being internalized. But I bet you there is this sort of civil rights movement, if you want to be charitable, but wokeness, if you want to be not charitable, element to it, where it's just we're just not gonna lock people away, because sometimes we are not thinking about what's the best for the greater citizenry as a whole.
We need a national agreement to bring back insane asylums. I mean it. And this guy should have been in an insane asylum. I mean, just you look at what he wrote on his gun. I mean, none of it makes any sense. It's all contradiction. Yeah. He's all over the place. Exactly. He's talking about the 6 million in the Holocaust wasn't enough. Killed Trump now. McVeigh. It's you look at this, say, okay, this guy should just be, institutionalized. Alex Marlowe from Breaking the Law. Stay right there. We have another segment with you. Great as always. What do we have, guys? zfactor.com. You guys should check it out right now. Relieffactor.com. That is relieffactor.com is the way to get Z-Factor and have a better night's sleep. Go to Z-Factor. Z-Factor goes beyond melatonin. Z-Factor uses a combination of 4 natural ingredients to help relax your mind so you fall asleep quicker. And once you're asleep, it helps you stay asleep, 100% drug-free, and so it's safe to take regularly. No groggy feeling when you wake up. Go to relieffactor.com right now. Pay $19.95 for a 30-day supply, a 46% savings. Call 1-800-4RELIEF. That is 1-800-4RELIEF. Go to relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Email me, as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. Subscribe to our podcast. We'll be right back.